Hello, my name is Abhay'Kulkarni and today's date is 12th April. The topic of the today for the Viva is what is constructor. So we will see step by step what is constructor, the type of constructor and the need of the constructor. So first, what is constructor? A constructor is a special type of method whose name is same as that of the class name. For example, the class name is class test. So the constructor name is also test. So uh, it is called as a constructor. So there are again some rules regarding the constructor. The following are the rules regarding the constructor, that are: the main purpose of the constructor is to initialize the object. That is, for example, if you have the instance values such as instance values, integer values and double values, that are, if we call the constructor, that values are being assigned and initialized, which is a part of the object. So the second point regarding the constructor is that every Java class has a by default constructor. For example, if a user created the constructor, then the compiler doesn't create the constructor, and if the user don't created the constructor, the compiler will automatically create the constructor, because the constructor is a must to initialize the object. And the third rule regarding the constructor is that constructor is automatically called when the object is created. For example, if we create the object of a particular class, that is new class test, then the class test constructor will automatically called. And the fourth rule regarding the constructor is that a constructor never contains any type of return values. For example, a return value is that means if we have the getter setter methods, that means get name, public static get name. In that, if you return the name will return where the object is, that method is being called. That name will be passing to that place where the name is getting demanded. So here, if the string is the get name, the object, the string return will be happen in the condition of that get name. That return is called as a the object will be demanded. So here the constructor will never ever have any type of return values. Even the void is also not allowed in the return value of the constructor. So we will see one example for the constructor. So the syntax of the constructor is that class name, and inside that curly braces, class name is the constructor that will be assigned. So for example, in the class A, int a equal to 10 and string name, inside that constructor, the same class name, we initialize a equal to 10 and name equal to null. And inside that, if we create the same methods, and inside that if we print the values in the main, that constructor will automatically called, and that value will be automatically print. We never have to create the object of that constructor. So we will now see what are the different types of the constructor. So there are mainly four types of the constructor. So the first constructor is called as a default constructor. So as we know, the default constructor is the constructor created by the compiler. So when the user don't have created the constructor, the compiler will create the constructor that is called as a default constructor. The second is called as a parameterized constructor. The parameterized constructor, in which we can pass the one or more parameters through which the constructor, through which we can initialize the instance variables. So it is called as a parameterized constructor. So the third constructor is called as a copy constructor. The copy constructor is mainly used to pass the reference of the objects. For example, the class test is the class name and the class test is the constructor name. Inside that, if we initialize some values, some variables, and inside for that downside, if we create the another constructor with another variables, and in the main method we can pass the first constructor values inside the parenthesis of the second constructor. This is called as a copy constructor. So the last but not the least, the type of the constructor is called as a private constructor. Inside the private constructor, the value can be initialized, and the constructor is called as a private class name constructor. It is written like this, but the problem is that we cannot create or handle that constructor outside that class. So all these things we are covered in this video. Thank you.